You've booked a flight online, right? Of course you have. It takes, what, a few seconds? It feels so simple. But before all that, it was just chaos. We're talking a world of paper, endless phone calls, and just waiting and waiting. So today, we're going to look at the one system that changed everything, the one that basically launched us into the age of instant connection.
I mean, just look at this. The difference is night and day. Back in the 1950s, if you wanted a plane ticket, you were in for a long haul. Agents had these massive handwritten ledgers they had to flip through, they had to make these long distance calls, and you could be waiting for days just to find out if you even got a seat. It was slow, it was frustrating, and it was a huge problem for an industry that was trying to grow. So a solution had to come from somewhere, right? And it came from this team up that really would go on to define an era. You had American Airlines, who was facing this massive logistical headache, and then you had the computing giant IBM, who saw a chance to build something the world had literally never seen before.
And their mission, for the time, was just incredibly ambitious. They didn't just want to speed things up a little bit. They wanted to build a system that could handle thousands and thousands of requests instantly. And that's the key phrase, the absolute game changer right there, real time.
And the result of this whole thing was Sabre. The name actually stands for Semi-Automated Business Research Environment. Kind of clunky, I know. But here's what made it so special. Sabre didn't just store information, like a digital filing cabinet. It actively managed and orchestrated all of that data, live across a huge network. So just try to wrap your head around the challenge here. How on earth do you create one single source of truth that thousands of people can look at and change at the exact same time without the whole thing just imploding? How do you make sure that an agent in New York and an agent in LA don't sell the very same seat on the very same flight? That was the giant puzzle they had to solve.
And you know what? They solved it. By 1964, the Sabre system was up and running, and the numbers were just staggering. It was processing 7,000 passenger bookings every single hour. This wasn't just a small step forward. This was a total quantum leap. Let that sink in for a second. A full booking, finding the seat, reserving it, confirming it, all of that done every half a second. Remember, this is the era of punch cards and giant magnetic tape reels. What they built was basically science fiction brought to life. It just shows you the incredible power of what they created.
So here's the big idea they pioneered on a massive scale, the real-time database. This wasn't just some static list of flights. It was a living, breathing system. Any change made by any user from anywhere was reflected for everyone else instantly. No more double bookings. It gave the airline a perfect up-to-the-second snapshot of its entire business.
So how did they pull it off? Well, the architecture was really built on three core pillars. First, you had centralized control, one master source for all the flight information. Second, you needed that super high-speed transaction processing to handle that booking every half-second kind of speed. And third, you needed terminals that could access that central brain from all over the place.
But the story doesn't end there, not even close. Sabre's impact grew way beyond just American Airlines. What started out as this one company's secret weapon, well, it pretty soon became the foundation for the entire global travel industry.
And you can see that whole evolution right here. After it proved itself in the 60s, Sabre was offered to travel agencies in the 70s. By the 80s, it had morphed into what's called a Global Distribution System, or GDS. It became this essential hub connecting tons of airlines to agents all over the world. And today, the basic ideas born in Sabre are still what's running the travel websites you and I use every single day. So you see, Sabre's legacy is so much bigger than just the technology. It fundamentally changed the relationships in the travel world. It gave agents more power, it gave airlines incredible control, and eventually it gave us, the passengers, the power to book our own travel with a few clicks. It created the very ecosystem we totally take for granted now.
This quote it absolutely nails it. Sabre wasn't just another early computer. It was a pioneer. It was the blueprint, the proof that this kind of real-time, huge-scale system could actually work. It really did set the altitude for pretty much all of modern e-commerce.
And that kind of brings us to one last thought here. Those core principles of Sabre, a single source of truth, updated in real time for millions of users, they are everywhere now. Think about it. Online banking, stock trading, even your social media feed. It's all the same idea. So the next time you book a flight in 30 seconds,
Just take a moment and remember the revolution that made it all possible.